Okay, good evening everybody. From Edmonton to Toronto, Winnipeg to Quebec. This is a day that Canada has been dreaming of for 36 long years. Their English coach, John Herdman, admitted he would have to pinch himself before sending the team out for only their second ever World Cup appearance and a first since Mexico '86. But it's really happening for the boy from the northeast with a Canadian twang. And what a game to end their long absence. Belgium semi-finalists in Russia 2018. And while the golden generation has lost some of its glow, they're still ranked as the world's second best side. Defeat for Roberto Martinez men may not rival Saudi Arabia beating Argentina in the shock stakes, but it would still be another major upset on the day Germany were humbled by Japan. Dean Ashton, former England striker, is alongside me. What will those Canadian players be feeling as we fast approach kick-off? And we saw what it meant to John Herdman. You were taken aback by just how passionately he was singing the national anthem.
It did surprise me. We don't normally see that, do we? From managers from a different nation than the one that they're managing. But he was fully into it with the rest of his coaching staff and players. And look, it's an incredible opportunity for them. It's something I'm sure they only could ever dream about. But they're here, and they're up against Belgium. You've somehow got to put that aside. There'll be feelings they've never felt before, even though they've played at the elite level for their club side. This is different. This is the World Cup. Put that aside. Can they put on a performance, like you said, I think to shock a lot of people?
Well, you mentioned there will be Canadian supporters who've never seen their nation at the World Cup. I don't want to be ageist here, but only their captain, Atiba Hutchinson, the 39-year-old, was even born when Mexico '86 was played. That puts into context, doesn't it, just how much this is going to mean back home.
Yeah, of course. And they'll want to compete. They won't want to have the same record they had in that World Cup appearance with no goal and no point. And I think this team is more than capable of not only competing but getting out of this group. And I think for a lot of us that maybe haven't seen a lot of Canada, I think we can wait to expect to be excited by them.
Huge roar around the stadium in Al Rayyan here in Doha as the Canadian players in their white strip gather for a pre-match huddle. It'll be fascinating to see exactly which formation John Herdman goes with tonight. I think we can safely guess how Belgium will line up, though Romelu Lukaku, due to injury, so Michy Batshuayi starts up front for them. Courtois in goal, Alderweireld, Dendoncker, Vertonghen in front of him, Castagne, Witsel, Tielemans and Carrasco in midfield with De Bruyne, Hazard the captain behind Batshuayi up front. The countdown clock is underway. It's a matter of seconds on the big screens inside the stadium. It's been nearly 4 decades since Canada kicked a ball at the World Cup finals. And it is they who kick off, all in white, shooting from right to left in this first half. And it does look potentially, Dean Ashton, as if it is that back three formation for Canada that was being talked about before kick-off.
Yeah, that's a shock. They normally play with a 4-2-3-1, and also Alphonso Davies is playing as a left wing-back, which we weren't sure whether it would be Hoylett who played right wing-back and Laurier on the right, on the left-hand side, because he's so versatile. So again, he's now further back than maybe we expected him to be. I thought he would be closer to Jonathan David. Instead, he's playing left wing back. So let's see how that matches up with the same formation as Belgium.
Badly given away inside his own half by Alistair Hutchinson. Shot from distance by Batshuayi. Straight into the arms of Milan Borjan. A confidence-boosting early touch for the Canadian goalkeeper, but certainly not a confident start from Alistair Johnston. Dean Ashton, who gave the ball away, put his team in real trouble. Here they come at the other end though, with Hoylett down the left-hand side. Hoylett into the penalty area, low cross towards the 6-yard box. It's cleared away and just about kept in play on this right-hand side by Castagne as well. So a real lively start to proceedings here in Doha. Canada playing the ball around on the edge of the Belgian penalty area, away to our left. The cross from the right-hand side by Johnston, blocked by Yannick Carrasco with that dyed white hair. And here come Canada again. It's certainly a confident start from them. and the shot drilled in low by Estequy is blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Belgium in their red shirts this evening, black shorts and black socks. So just to give you the exact Canadian system, Boyan the goalkeeper, Johnston, Vittoria and Miller in a back three, Larea the right wing back, Davies on the left with Hutchinson, Estequy in midfield, and then Buchanan and Hoylett in support of the free scoring Jonathan David up front. What a lively start in the first 3 minutes here on TalkSport.
Brilliant, hasn't it? Exactly what we expected, which was nerves from the Canadian players, with Victoria giving the ball away, and then Batshuayi getting the deflected shot into the arms of Boyan, and then straight away a quick counter-attack from the Canadians, and they were away down the left-hand side with Hoylett. Didn't quite eventually get a shot in on Courtois' goal, but a good start.
You're just watching a replay of the effort from Batshuayi from outside the penalty area. It did move quite viciously, but the goalkeeper, Boyan, Yugoslavian born, had a good view of it, managed to catch it cleanly. Made his debut for the national side way back in 2011. They do have plenty of experience in their ranks. The ball is played forward by Thibaut Courtois, but didn't get a lot of distance on that. One back on halfway by Estequy, plays it out to the right-hand side, and here is Buchanan. Plays his club football in Belgium for Club Brugge, so they know all about him. And he's won a throw off Carrasco down by the right corner flag. 0-0. Last of four commentaries across the TalkSport network today as our wall-to-wall coverage of the 2022 World Cup continues. Belgium ranked second in the world, up against a Canadian side looking to cause yet another upset. Now 41st in the world, Canada. It's only 8 years ago they were down in 122nd, having lost 8-1 to Honduras. A rapid turnaround for them, and they've seen plenty of the ball in the early exchanges. Jan Vertonghen slammed his clearance against Buchanan, the former Tottenham man Vertonghen, and then a foul by Batshuayi. It's left the Canadian player flat on his back just inside the Belgian half. Quickly to his feet. Canada have taken the free kick quickly as well. It's played out to this left-hand side. Jonathan David couldn't keep it in play, and it will be a throw-in for Belgium. But I mentioned in the build-up to kick-off that there was a possibility that Canada could be a bit overawed by the occasion. Hasn't started that way in the first 5 minutes, Dean Ashton.
No, I think it always helps when you're up against a team as such as Belgium is, that they don't press you. Belgium don't press anymore. They haven't got the players to do so, with De Bruyne, Hazard, Batshuayi and Tielemans. They don't really look to try and press you high and put pressure on you. So actually that's quite nice if you're a Canadian player. You get a bit of time on the ball to get it down, make a few passes, let them nerves get out of your system.
Roberto Martinez was having to answer questions about the fitness of Eden Hazard. It was suggested by some in the Belgian media that he was carrying a bit too much weight these days. I looked at the coin toss before kick-off. I thought he looked in okay condition, I have to say.
I mean, he's not one of those players that I don't think ever looks in unreal condition, does he? That's the type of player that he is. He's not someone that's going to, I think, spend hours and hours in the gym. He lets his flair do the talking, and it has been brilliant over the years. And that's what Roberto Martinez is hoping, that he can still bring that bit of brilliance, and he allows with this system him and Hazard. Him and De Bruyne just to have that space and that real freedom to just kind of roam.
He's only played 72 games in 4 seasons, Hazard, at Real Madrid. He has been working with a personal trainer in the build-up to this World Cup. As Carrasco comes over the halfway line, but again he's stopped in his tracks by Estequy, Porto midfielder, and then a neat piece of play over on the right-hand side has given the Canadians chance to get across into the penalty area towards David, around about the penalty spot, and cleared behind for the first corner of the evening. Good play initially down that right-hand side by Larea. The cross finally came in from Buchanan and had to be dealt with by Dendoncker.
He did well in the end, Dendoncker, just a step across, because Jonathan David had made a darting run just to try and get in front of him at that near post, and he just stuck out a leg and made sure he blocked the attempt. But already Vertonghen on that left-hand side looked laboured in his running.
Junior Hoylett winning his 50th cap tonight. The Reading midfielder stands over the corner. It's from the right-hand side. Stephen Vittoria, who's decent in the air, is up from the back. Jonathan David standing closest to Thibaut Courtois. It's in towards Vittoria. Might come for Buchanan. Shot deflected. Could have gone anywhere. Loops into the arms of Thibaut Courtois. Buchanan convinced it struck an arm, and he's asking the referee for a penalty at the moment. Those pleas have been waved away.
No, but he took it well, didn't he? Missed everybody in the middle of the penalty area. Took a lovely little touch, bounced up for the volley and took it well. And I just wonder.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne was attacking down the left-hand side. The referee from Zambia, Gianni Sikazwi, has called a halt to proceedings. Does this suggest that there is a VAR check? It does. He's made the television symbol and he's racing over to the monitor. Canada might be given a chance here to score their first ever World Cup goal. What drama inside 9 minutes.
Well, we can only think. We'll have to wait to see whether one of the defenders' arms is in an unnatural position. It's Carrasco, whose left hand is, his elbow's tucked into his chest, but his left hand is then out in an unnatural position, and it's going in as well.
It's a penalty. Absolutely no doubt in my mind. Buchanan with a shot, the left arm of Carrasco.
It actually missed Vertonghen's arm, which was
strikes the ball,
stuck out as well.
Back on comes the referee, and he points to the penalty spot. Is this World Cup of upsets about to deliver again? Roberto Martinez, the Belgian manager, ashen face. It's going to be a yellow card for Carrasco, just to add insult to injury. But we haven't had 10 minutes yet. Canada with the opportunity to get only their second ever World Cup campaign off to a dream start. Dean Ashton.
I'm just looking to see who it's going to be.
It's going to be Alphonso Davies.
Of course.
The poster boy of this Canadian side. 2 weeks ago, we didn't know if he would be fit to start this game. He has a gilt-edged chance to score Canada's first ever World Cup goal. Davies up against Thibaut Courtois. It's a match you can see in the Champions League.
Size of Courtois, though. He looks
bouncing on his line. All in yellow, the Real Madrid goalkeeper. He's pointed towards the top left-hand corner as if to say to Davies, go on then, stick it there. What a moment this could be. A moment 4 decades in the making. Davies has had a long time to size up his options. We've played 10 minutes in Al Rayyan. Here comes the Bayern Munich winger, and it's saved by Courtois. A nightmare moment for Alphonso Davies, and Canada's wait for their first World Cup goal continues. A big roar from Thibaut Courtois. It wasn't a great penalty. And how big a moment could that be? Down to his right-hand side. It was too close to the goalkeeper. He may even have slipped as he struck the ball, Davies. That is a big disappointment for the whole of the Canadian nation.
Well, 2 key factors here. One, the amount of time that Alphonso Davies had to wait to take the penalty. It's horrible. I've been there when you're having to wait and you know where you're going to take it, but then you maybe second guess what you're going to do. And then also in goal, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, Thibaut Courtois. He just looks so huge in there. And you're right, trying to play tricks, pointing to the left. He dived to his right. It was a poor penalty, you're right, just a side foot trying to send the keeper the wrong way. And a great save from Courtois.
Nonetheless, it's been a terrific start to the game for Canada. Really taking the match to Belgium, playing on the front foot as Jonathan David comes forward into the area again. Pass misses out. Hoylett picked up by Buchanan on the edge of the box and won back by Axel Witsel, an experienced mop-haired central midfielder for Belgium. And he calls himself, Thibaut Courtois, the best goalkeeper in the world. And I guess he's just prove why he believes that.
Yeah, I mean, look, he is a fantastic goalkeeper, but ultimately from 12 yards, if you've got anything about you, you put it in the back of the net. You put it somewhere the goalkeeper and no goalkeeper can get to with power and pace and accuracy, and there was none of that.
Neat play by Buchanan down the right for Canada, turning away from Carrasco, winning his team a throw. Belgium look hassled and harried by this very vibrant Canadian side in the early exchanges on TalkSport. Another opportunity blazed into the side netting this time, and it was Richie Laryea up from right wing back. Wasn't the cleanest of strikes and always going wide.
Yes, a couple of times now though he's playing as a right wing back, but actually he's really high and getting involved alongside Buchanan, who's then just kind of dropping deep and looking to play the right wing back in.
Courtois again with a short pass out from the back. Again, it's seized upon by the white shirts. They look to have an extra man at the moment. Canada, deep cross towards the far post. Not a bad ball. Then Buchanan tries to head it down. Could come for Jonathan David. Left-footed effort blocked by Witsel. Still they can't get it out. David again, the flag is up on the far side. Good save by the legs of Courtois. And they're appealing again, I think, here. Canada surrounding the Zambian referee. What a start to this game.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I mean, Belgium like to play out from Courtois. Both of the two wide centre-backs tend to drop really deep and look to receive. Well, Canada will obviously recognise that, and they're pressing really high to try and stop them playing out. Mistakes are being made.
They're appealing for a foul by Vertonghen on Richie Laryea. I think he did just get the ball before he followed through on the play. The flag was up anyway. They look very uncomfortable defensively, Belgium. We talked about the fact they have an ageing backline. There was some suggestion in the Belgian media that maybe Zeno de Bas, the 19-year-old Anderlecht defender, might start tonight. Leander Dendoncker gets the nod because they left out a couple of senior defenders, the likes of Dedrick Boyata, once of Manchester City, didn't make the 26-man squad. At the moment, Canada look like they're capable of taking full advantage. 7 attempts already from John Herdman's side. Just the one from Belgium. That was that rather tame effort from Michy Batshuayi inside the first few seconds. And Romelu Lukaku injured tonight for Belgium. Doesn't look like he's enjoying watching from the stands.
Not a lot he can do from up there, is it? And it's horrible as a player when you know you want to help. But right now it's that midfield. We've got to get a grip. Witsel, Tielemans being outrun, outworked in there. De Bruyne maybe just has to come and drop slightly to either help defensively or get himself on the ball and look to start to keep some possession.
Here's Castagna, the tall Leicester City fullback, down the right-hand side. Belgium have it back now inside their own territory. Both coaches, Roberto Martinez, FA Cup winner with Wigan, and John Herdman on the edge of their respective technical areas. That's a better looking ball out to the right by Belgium, aiming for Castagna over his head and out for a throw. I think John Herdman will be absolutely elated with the endeavour shown by his team early on. I spoke in the build-up to the game about the fact there will be an estimated 1 billion people back home watching. 1 billion people have seen Alphonso Davies fluff his line from the penalty spot, but apart from that, it's been a really good start, and they're coming forward again here. Junior Hoilett breaks the line from a long ball upfield. He's into the penalty area. Drills it across the face of goal, maybe via a deflection. I think he just needed more bodies up in support there, but again it was nervous defending from Belgium. Toby would have viraled this time, let the ball go across his body. Hoilett got in behind. I don't think it did deflect actually, and he scuffed the shot wide of the right-hand post.
Yeah, he was greedy in the end. He got himself into a good position, and then that position was closed down, and he should have then played one of his teammates in. Instead he tried to recycle the ball and turn it back in, and then the angle was poor as he tried to take the left-footed shot and got it horribly wrong. But again, just a sign, the lack of pace in that back line for Belgium. Every single ball that looks like it's going to go in behind, they just look quicker to it, the Canadians.
They're winning every ball as well from Courtois out from the back. Eden Hazard with some silky footwork buys himself some space on the halfway line. Here's Castagna looking to feed Tielemans, his Leicester teammate, down the right-hand side. Strong sliding challenge from Kamal Miller, Montreal defender. He immediately turns and tries to whip up the Canadian fans inside the ground. Hazard, wearing the bright blue captain's armband for Belgium, picks it up 10 yards inside Canadian territory. He was upended by Alistair Johnston. It will be a free kick and a chance for Belgium to get bodies forward from the back. I just wonder, Dean Ashton, 18 minutes in, having already survived a penalty against them, do you still think Belgium can go deep into this tournament?
How did I know you were going to try and pull that up straight away? Yes, they can, because they've got the best goalkeeper in the world, who's already saved them once, and I'm sure will save them again. And it's only a matter of time before Belgium do start to get onto the ball, do start to maybe dictate play and get De Bruyne and Hazard on the ball. Hazard, by the way, hasn't lost any of that body movement. When he's got the ball, how hard is he to dispossess when he's shimmying left and right? So there's still time for you to apologise.
Carrasco plays it back towards the Belgian penalty area. The Tongan, 35 years of age now, the ex-Tottenham man, plays it along the 18-yard box. Now Courtois, all in yellow, knocks the ball back out to the left-back position. Batshuayi dropping deep to the halfway line. De Bruyne races towards the penalty area. He had Tielemans trying out for the pass to his right. For once, De Bruyne's radar is not working as it should be. Tried to slide in Carrasco down the left-hand side instead, and it's gleefully collected inside the area by Milan Borjan, the Canadian goalkeeper.
Oh, he got it wrong, didn't he? Kevin De Bruyne. We rarely see that, where he picks the wrong option. If he'd have just looked to his right, it was a simple pass as well to Tielemans, who'd made a great run from midfield to stay with De Bruyne. And he just needed to roll him in. Instead, he tried to play the more difficult pass to Carrasco, who was marked. And the chance was gone, but just a little warning to Canada. You allow Kevin De Bruyne any sort of space and he will do that. He can cut through you, and he's a strong runner too.
It's the voice of Dean Ashton, former England striker, alongside me, Alex Crook. 19 minutes gone, you're listening to Talk Sport. Still Belgium 0, Canada 0. For those of you just tuning in, Canada awarded a penalty in the 10th minute. Alphonso Davies stepped up and fired straight at Thibaut Courtois, who was able to make a relatively comfortable save. What a moment that would have been for the World Cup rookies. Here's Hazard inside the centre circle again. He's been brought down unfairly by Tajon Buchanan this time. Another Belgian free kick. A reminder, 4 more World Cup commentaries coming your way on the TalkSport network tomorrow. Switzerland against Cameroon is a 10 o'clock kickoff UK time. That's on TalkSport 2, followed at 1 by Uruguay against South Korea. At 4 o'clock, Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal take on Ghana here on TalkSport. And at 7 o'clock, our first glimpse of Brazil this tournament. They take on Serbia. That game also here on TalkSport as our wall-to-wall coverage from Doha continues. Canada have had 57% possession so far.
Yeah, that'll change quickly though. They're not a team usually that are interested in keeping possession, Canada, whereas Belgium certainly are. That's what their whole philosophy is about, is keeping lots of possession and waiting to get De Bruyne and Hazard into the game. So I think that is what the game will turn into. There's been plenty of warnings already for Belgium that they're up against a team that can certainly hurt them with their pace and quality.
It's just as an intriguing matchup as we would have hoped for. Certainly not a mismatch, and I think Canada's road to the World Cup gave us the impression it wouldn't be. Again, they're pressing high, they're looking for mistakes in the Belgian back line. This time the ball cannons up in the air and out of play off Alistair Johnston as he closed down a clearance from the Tongan. They topped their qualifying group in South America ahead of Mexico, unbeaten in the first 11 of their 14 final qualifying matches. They scored more goals than anybody else in their group. They conceded fewer. They have more than earned their place. I think we've seen that in the opening 22 minutes. Still 0-0 though. Another free kick conceded. This time Youri Tielemans is the Belgian player in the wars, brought down by Atiba Hutchinson, winning his 99th cap tonight. No Canadian has ever reached 100, barring any misfortune.
I mean, he's done well to make the tournament. He's done well to make the tournament because of the injuries that he's had. He's hardly played, and I wasn't sure he was going to feature, let alone start. But clearly John Herdman wants that experience with so many young players in the side as well.
When Belgium have given the ball away inside their own half. This time it's a poor pass forward by Kamal Miller for Canada, collected by Carrasco. And Mercurial, Atletico Madrid midfielder over on the left-hand side. He was having his shirt pulled by Richie Larrea. So it's a free kick for Belgium, which they've taken and played it back towards the penalty area. And Leander Dendoncker, the Aston Villa midfielder, who has played a lot in the Premier League as a central defender, particularly when he was at Wolverhampton Wanderers, so it's not a role that will faze him tonight. At the heart of that back three. Route one from Belgium. One ball over the top looking for Hazard. Brilliant piece of skill by the captain. On the edge of the area, cuts it back for Tielemans, or it's slightly behind him. Here's Batshuayi though inside the box, and that's a really good block from Kamal Miller, sliding in and turning the ball behind for a corner. What a touch by Hazard on the edge of the area to start the move.
Absolutely sensational, wasn't it? Over the top of his shoulder, takes it down with the outside of his foot into his own path to then take it in behind, away from Johnston. Brilliant ball then to Tielemans, who plays in Batshuayi. Batshuayi should have just played it to De Bruyne. Instead he took a touch and was closed down. That was another great opportunity for Belgium on the break.
And you sense that when they do get it together, Belgium, Canada do look vulnerable defensively.
Yes, they do, yeah. I mean, but against that sort of quality, I think most teams are going to be vulnerable.
Here comes De Bruyne. Corner kick from the right-hand side. Player who tops the assist charts in the Premier League this season. Headed away. Good header away as well by Estequy. It's given Canada the opportunity maybe to come forward on the counter. Junior Hoilett looking to play in Jonathan David down this left-hand side. Courtois had a good starting position. Clears upfield. And headed into the Canadian half by Witsel. Here is Hoilett again. Played in the Premier League for Blackburn and Queen's Park Rangers. And he started well, Junior Hoilett.
Yeah, he has. He's playing probably left of a three, I would say. Buchanan and Hoilett just either side of Jonathan David. And they've looked really lively, those three in particular, when Canada have got the ball. But just more and more now, Belgium starting to relax, get on the ball.
Still giving it away cheaply inside their own half of the field though. On this occasion they've managed to play their way out. De Bruyne over the halfway line, gaps appearing. Forward to Hazard on the edge of the penalty area. Hazard holds off one challenge, then heads for the byline. In the end he has to settle for a throw-in. Larrea did well there, the wing-back for Canada. Does look dangerous, Eden Hazard, every time. But they managed to get the ball into him, and they had runners in behind Canada, who in fairness are playing on the front foot there, trying to take the game to Belgium, but it does leave gaps in behind. Here's Vertonghen over on the left-hand side for the Red Devils, and another free kick conceded. Once again, Eden Hazard is the player who goes down. Once again, it was Alistair Johnston, the offender. I think he's going to have to be careful, or he'll get himself a yellow card under the totting up procedure, Johnston.
Yeah, just with Eden Hazard, you can't try and just dangle a leg in there thinking you're going to win it. He's too clever for that. But just a Warriors, they try and just go over the top.
Great ball from De Bruyne, looking for the run of Castagna, and an important intervention once again. This time it was Alphonso Davies getting there just ahead, just in the nick of time, as Castagna looked to get on the end of the diagonal ball from De Bruyne.
Switched off though, hadn't he? Alphonso Davies just hadn't checked his shoulder to see where Castagna was, and he was in. It was almost a perfect ball from De Bruyne, and he did well in the end, and probably that pace that he's got just got him out of trouble. But that was a worry, that last attack, because and naive as well from Canada to allow Kevin De Bruyne all that space in midfield without anyone near him.
It's a really open game here. Good play by Davies, picks it up on the edge of the penalty after a clever step over, and then the shot drilled in and hammered wide from Atiba Hutchinson, the captain. A bit like one of my golf tee shots, that. Sliced well wide of the goal in the end.
Sounds about right.
You've got those in your locker as well, but again it was good play by Davies, wasn't it?
I mean, fantastic. Just the way we do see that for Bayern Munich, though. Once he goes on one of those runs, he's very, very difficult to stop. He just went straight through the middle.
I think what's encouraging when you see that Davies still has the confidence to do that, try the step overs, take on Belgian players, which suggests he hasn't been affected by the penalty miss. He's very quickly put that to the back of his mind.
He has, and that's credit to him. And he'll be praying now that they go on and get a positive result, otherwise that will certainly stick with him. And World Cups tend to leave a lingering history for people to remember.
So many penalties already in this tournament, both scored and missed. Of course, we were watching outside a cafe last night as Robert Lewandowski saw his spot kick saved.
Very similar as well, very similar penalties, where they just run up and then look to try and send the keeper the wrong way, but just side foot it with not a lot of pace to one side, and two good saves. Ochoa, once again, World Cup hero, and Courtois tonight.
Courtois with that early penalty save to keep us at 0-0 here on TalkSport. Long punt forward by the Belgian goalkeeper. Held up well by Batshuayi. He's then been dispossessed by Miller. Here is Estaquí inside his own half of the field. Again, nimble footwork from Alphonso Davies, escaping the attentions of Tielemans, but going back towards his own area. Miller into the feet of the goalkeeper, Paul Yanni. Hasn't had too much to do so far, barring that early long ranger from Batshuayi. Johnston chips it forward towards the halfway line. Jonathan David dropping deep on this occasion. He's put a lovely ball out to the right hand side, and Larrea, only Buchanan in the area. Larrea away from Carrasco, tries to cut it back. It's well defended this time by Leander Dendoncker, who scoops it clear over to the right hand side. It's collected again by David. Neat little link-up play this by the Canadians. Comes to David on the edge of the area. Claims he was fouled by Witsel. Nothing doing, but they're still playing on here. In the end, it's swept away by Yannick Carrasco from the corner of the 18-yard box. They look a threat, Canada, every time they lay siege on the Belgian goal away to our left. 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport. 29 minutes played. A reminder earlier today, another big shot from this World Cup, as Japan came from behind to beat Germany, the 4 times champions, by 2 goals to 1. Spain put 7 past Costa Rica, also in that group. Pressure on the Germans already, and pressure on Belgium here, and that could be another penalty. Johnston goes down in the area, not given at the moment. Johnston with a shot, clawed away at the near post by Courtois. Still alive inside the Belgian area, and in the end it's volleyed away by Witsel. And then Alderweireld with a header clear. Will VAR be checking another potential spot kick, Dean Ashton?
Possibly, but there wasn't a lot of hands going up from the Canadian players. You know, usually that's the key. If the rest of the players really feel like it is a penalty, wasn't many claims from players in white shirts.
They look so average at the back, Belgium. Here's Buchanan running at Alderweireld, trying to make his way into the penalty area, bulldozing his way through, and then cleared away by Dendoncker again. Anywhere will do for Roberto Martinez's men at the moment. Johnston with a shot, fizzed in at the near post. Safe hands again from Thibaut Courtois. He is by far the busier of the 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah, he is, but that was simple for someone of his quality. It was like what he'd just done in the warm-up, which was balls just being fired into his arms from narrow angles. But you're right, yeah, I just think it's the pace, isn't it? And when you get older and you're not naturally quick anyway, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, you just look like you're not moving.
Estaquí with the ball into the penalty area. Buchanan breaking in behind again, pulls it back for Davids. Low right-footed shot blocked by Alderweireld. Spoons up into the air and into the arms of Courtois. But they can't handle, Belgium, the movement of this Canadian side at the moment. The speed of thought from John Herdman's team.
And again, just another chance that goes where you just think, yes, of course you want to score. And Jonathan David gets himself into a good position just inside the box centrally, and he thinks as he turns, I'm just going to take the shot on. If he just gets his head up, Larrea is literally there, totally free, just 5 yards to his side. He could have played it to him, he'd have then been able to have a free shot of goal. Instead he tried to take the shot on, it was easily blocked, and the chance was gone. Just those little moments at this level make such a difference.
Long ball out by Belgium to Castagna on the right-hand side. Batshuayi trying to turn on the edge of the area. Out-muscled by Miller. Key piece of defending again, and here come Canada looking to turn defence into attack rapidly. And Davies has left Tielemans on his backside. He's left him red-faced, the Belgian midfielder. And then Junior Hoilett, too strong for Hazard. The white shirt's pouring forward again. Hoilett with a cross towards David at the far post, heads over. Great move again.
Poor old Youri Tielemans, slightly embarrassing as Jonathan David just Cruyff chops you away and you slide away on your backside. Brilliant skill from him, and then lovely play again from Canada getting it wide, and the ball was just a bit too high for Jonathan David. He was pedalling backwards and just tried to get the header on target and couldn't, and up and over the top.
Here comes De Bruyne down the left-hand side for Belgium. Only Batshuayi inside the penalty area. High ball towards Batshuayi, right-footed shot. Took a deflection and well kept in the end, was it, by Bojan. Again, Miller was the player up there with a scuffed attempt in the end from Michy Batshuayi.
Yeah, he was looking for the worldie, wasn't he, from that long ball from De Bruyne. Batshuayi looking to volley that in on the first time. Really wide, and it was poor again. He just scuffs it into the floor and it comes to nothing, and again he had support. He could have just played it inside. To say it's open is an understatement, Crookie, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic for the neutral. Not one for the defensive purists, that's for sure. The Canadian fans inside the stadium in Al Rayyan are loving every minute, many of them wearing Canadian flags draped around them, red cowboy hats as far as the eye can see. Their team have made a real impact in this first half, but it remains 0-0. Don't forget TalkSport Breakfast live from Doha from 6 a.m. tomorrow. Alan Brazil will be in London. Ali McCoist here in Qatar. Guests include Gabby Agbonlahor, Stuart Pearce, Dean Ashton to my right, and European football expert Andy Brassel. He was watching Japan come from behind to beat Germany earlier today. And that is followed at 10 a.m. UK time by White and Jordan, also with us here in Qatar. They're going to be joined by the former Manchester City player, the former USA international DeMarcus Beasley, from 10 a.m. looking ahead to England against the USA on Friday. Here's Castagna down the right-hand side, can't quite keep the ball in play. And it will be a goal kick for Canada, and a chance, Dean Ashton, for us to catch our breath.
Exactly. I mean, both teams, if they just get it right, whether it's that final bit of composure and the right decision at the right time, then there's goals for both sides, to be honest. It's just about that final pass or attempt. It's just what's lacking in this game. So far it's been excellent from both sides.
Belgium were the leading goal scorers at Russia 2018, 16 in total, 10 different players on the score sheet, but they really haven't tested Milan Borjan so far this evening. On what is still a very humid night in Qatar, temperature around about 70 degrees. Tielemans playing it forward down the right. Of course, the stadiums are all air conditioned. Not sure how much that helps on the pitch, Dean Ashton, but certainly keeps us cool, doesn't it? We're having to take jackets to games. Jumpers.
It's so strange.
Get the woolly hats out.
It is strange, isn't it? It is strange to be so warm and then get up to the commentary position and be so cold, but it's got to help the players. It has to. At pitch level, you can see the big pipes that are pumping in the aircon for the players. It has to help.
Didn't see you complaining about the warmth when you were sat comparing six-packs with Gabby Agbonlahor by the pool this afternoon. I didn't get mine out.
Don't lie.
Here's Miller down the left for Canada. A rare lull in play in what's been a really entertaining first half here on TalkSport. 9 minutes to the break. Here comes Johnston down the right-hand side for the Canadians. Good ball in, looking for Buchanan. Headed away by Alderweireld, and then Hazard again tries to bring the ball under his spell, but he's stopped in his tracks by Miller. Immediately plays it towards the Belgium area. Across comes Witsel with a challenge, and Carrasco manages to race across and keep it in play over on that far touchline. Witsel back to Alderweireld. Had a stint playing here in Qatar, now back in Belgium with Antwerp. A player who made 174 appearances for Tottenham, Toby Alderweireld. And another example of this creaking, ageing Belgian backline. One that Canada have looked to exploit with good effect so far in this first half. I guess the question is, can they maintain this level of intensity throughout the entire 90 minutes?
Well, what they will do is they will sit off. They won't press you all the time, Canada. They're very clever as well. They'll let you play to one side and then look to trap you in on that side. They've done that very well so far against both, because they'll look to play across the back line, and as soon as it goes out to one of the fullbacks, they're then looking to trap them in and not allow them to then play back to the centre-back or find the midfield player. It's fascinating to watch the fact how organised the Canadians are defensively.
Here comes Larea down the right-hand side, level with the penalty area for Canada, still dictating the pace of proceedings, maybe in contrast to how we expected the game to pan out. Estequie now over on that far touchline, room to turn on the edge of the area for Hutchinson. Hutchinson plays it back to the right-hand side, continues his run into the box. Junior Hoylett bursts beyond Witsel, he goes down. Again, there are appeals for a penalty. Hutchinson, the skipper, leading those claims. Was that a shoulder barge or something more sinister?
No, I mean,
Axel Witsel.
The referee looked across to his assistant for anything, and there was nothing there at all. He's really looking for it.
Not a potential tangle of legs?
No, it's a potential yellow card for Larea just throwing himself to the floor.
Such a cynic, Dean Ashton.
It's because I know what he's done, because I've done it.
It's like you admitting you're a cheat.
I don't use words like that.
39 minutes played, no penalty. Although the Canadian fans are shouting for VAR, and there is a check-in process. Do they agree with Dean Ashton that was gamesmanship? Or was there enough contact between Witsel and Hoylett?
I always think there should be contact allowed. There should be a certain amount of contact. It's how does that player go down? Does that player, and you can tell when somebody throws themselves down or is going down themselves rather than the challenge forcing them to go down. There's a big difference.
On this occasion, the officials agree with Dean Ashton.
Of course they do.
Has restarted with the Belgian goal kick.
Common sense.
It would have been fascinating to see if Alphonso Davies put himself back on the spot, having seen that 10th minute effort saved by Courtois. That the big moment of the first half, which is rapidly drawing to a conclusion. We're into the final 5 minutes. There will be significant added time because of the VAR reviews. FIFA keen to ensure that the ball is in play for as long as is possible during this World Cup, hence the fact we've seen lots of added minutes across the board. Here's Estequie playing it to the left-hand side in Davies. Clever looking ball into the area, but cross comes Alderweireld, gets there ahead of Hoylett and scoops the ball out for a throw on this near left-hand side. 0-0 the score.
He's been the best of the three, actually, Toby Alderweireld. He's actually bailed the other two out a couple of times. Dendoncker, to me, doesn't look natural on the right-hand side of a three. I'm not too sure how many times he's played that exact role. He doesn't look that comfortable. Vertonghen is like I was in carrying a caravan on his back, because he's really struggled in this first half, and Alderweireld a couple of times has just read it brilliantly, stepped across and intercepted.
I wonder if already Roberto Martinez might be considering bringing in the teenager Zeno de Bast. He would be Belgium's youngest ever World Cup player. It has been a struggle for that Belgian back three. I guess the one positive, if you're Roberto Martinez, is that despite one or two real scares, his side haven't conceded. Belgium come forward with Hazard. Little pirouette on the edge of the penalty area. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side, and Castagna into Tillemans. Now Dendoncker forward over the halfway line, but Canada well drilled. Everybody back behind the ball. Witsel, the Atletico midfielder, plays it back into the centre circle.
Castagna's been good, very good on this right-hand side. He's kept Davies quiet because of his own movement. He's making him having to defend a lot because he's looking to threaten him behind constantly, and actually he's a really good outlet because he's so good in the air. If at all they're feeling like they're being pressed, if you just play that diagonal, and he just keeps winning it against Davis and heading it in towards Batshuayi, and again they're looking for that pass.
Yeah, the raking ball forward, the diagonal out to the right hand side, and Castagna. This time it's too close to Bojan, winner of 5 successive Serbian titles with Red Star Belgrade. Even scored a penalty for his club last season. Maybe he should have taken the spot kick and not Alphonso Davies. Perhaps Canada would be in front.
We don't see enough of that anymore, do we? The goalkeepers.
Is it Reni Higuita? He always used to take penalties. And the Paraguayan, who's the Paraguayan? Chilavert in France 98.
Oh, that left foot of his. I'm sure Edison could do it. We'll see it, won't we? We'll have to see it at some point.
Here's Tillemans, deep inside the Belgian half, down the right-hand side, looking to navigate his way away from Estequy, not a regular for Porto, but a crucial part of the Canadian master plan, breaking up play, as we've seen on numerous occasions in this first half. Still 0-0 on TalkSport, but certainly not a boring 0-0. We've had a couple of goalless draws already in this tournament, one earlier today, Croatia against Morocco in this group. Belgium play Morocco next before rounding it off against Croatia. The final game in Group F is Axel Witsel for the Belgians, midway inside his own half to our left. Asks Dendoncker to come forward, and he finds De Bruyne, who's been given that free roll, isn't he, really, in behind Batshuayi. He's seen a lot of the ball on the left-hand side. It just popped up on the near touchline. De Bruyne
doesn't have the same options, does he, when he picks up that ball on the right-hand side in midfield? He doesn't have the same options at City.
That's another long ball forward into the area. Batshuayi! Excellent finish. Left foot volley into the corner. Well, we wondered, without Lukaku, where the goals would come from. There is your answer. Michy Batshuayi, breaking Canadian hearts right at the end of the first half. It was such a simple ball, straight down the middle, and Batshuayi with the composure and the confidence to take on the shot first time and thunder it left-footed beyond Bojan to make it Belgium 1, Canada 0. Excellent finish.
Brilliant, wasn't it, from Batshuayi at the end? The half volley, side-footed finish with power past Bojan. When he was running onto it, it came over the top of his left shoulder. He just waited for it to bounce perfectly to hit the half volley past the Canadian goalie. It's a really good finish, but by the way, it's absolutely awful defending. Victoria, the middle centre-back, gets right underneath it, goes over his head, and in between the other two centre-backs who don't pick anyone up. It's really poor from Canada. Such an easy, just one big long punt forward from Alderweireld, bounces once, and Batshuayi puts it in.
27 goals now, Michy Batshuayi, in just 48 appearances for Belgium. And that is as good a finish as you will see, despite the rank bad defending that Dean Ashton has already alluded to. It's cruel on Canada, who've been the better side for this first half. But that's why, Dean, you have to take your chances when they come your way, particularly when you're playing, on paper, the second best team in the world.
Yeah, because you make one mistake and you get punished, especially at this level. You know, you just can't allow these sorts of players to get in on your goal with no real pressure. Batshuayi tucks it away brilliantly on the half volley, and all of a sudden Alphonso Davies, all he's now thinking about is that missed penalty.
Into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Belgium leading 1-0. Hazard looking to feed the ball through to the goal scorer. Batshuayi couldn't find him. Canada with a chance to come forward down the right. Johnston on the halfway line, plays the ball into the centre circle, well brought down by Estequy. 5 added minutes there will be at the end of the 45. We played one of those already. Here's a chance for David inside the penalty area. Couldn't get the ball out from under his feet. It's cleared out for a Canadian throw. Again, they've responded well to the setback, having missed an early penalty. Alphonso Davies seeing his spot kick saved by Courtois, having conceded Straight away, Canada back on the front foot. Here up from the back is Vittoria inside the centre circle, the 35-year-old centre-back for Canada. Everybody bar Miller inside the Belgium half of the field. They've moved the ball really nicely, and it's Hoylett with a low cross into the 6-yard box and blazed over the bar by the sliding Buchanan. Lovely crisp move again from Canada, just lacking the final touch from Buchanan. I think maybe the presence of Leander Dendoncker bearing down did just enough to put him off.
Yeah, obviously Carrasco on that side struggled, hasn't he, all half when they've doubled up on him. Buchanan and Larrea have done brilliantly down that side. Buchanan in the end just could not get that strike on target.
And ball up from Courtois, headed on by Batshuayi, but collected by Davies. I wonder if they might try and utilise him in a more forward role in the second half as they go in search, Canada, of the equaliser. They're trailing 1-0 here on TalkSport, the last of 4 games on the network, as our wall-to-wall coverage continues today. 4 more tomorrow. You won't miss a kick here on TalkSport and on TalkSport 2. Davies running into trouble in the form of Dendoncker. No free kicks as the referee, and they've got 3-on-3 here. De Bruyne trying to find Hazard again, couldn't quite squeeze it through. Here's Jonathan David at the other end, linking up with Larrea again on the right hand side. Buchanan and Hoylett wait in the centre. Carrasco with a challenge, and Canada will have a corner in the 4th of the 5 added minutes at the end of the first half.
They won't keep getting away with that though, Canada. They keep allowing Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, the time in that area. De Bruyne was totally free with about 20 yards of space to pick a pass. It was poor actually from him, the pass in the end, but that's really naive to think that he won't eventually hurt you.
Canada still looking for their first ever World Cup goal. Corner from the right hand side, in towards Buchanan, who flicks it across the face of goal and then smashed in by Estequy from the edge of the area. He appeals for handball. Referee says play on. Here's Davies now down by that right corner flag, taking on Carrasco, who struggled all half. This time Carrasco is too streetwise, doesn't fall for the tricks of Davies, and Belgium may be able to come forward on the counter. Hazard finding De Bruyne down the left. Carrasco has burst forward in support. Batshuayi, the goal scorer, up on the edge of the area as well. Poor pass by Hazard, or by De Bruyne rather. Hasn't quite been at his dazzling best in this first half. There's a couple of passes that have gone astray, and again Canada able to clear the danger. 2 or 3 times De Bruyne has had the opportunity to play the type of pass he does for fun at Manchester City, and it hasn't come off.
No, again I don't think Hazard was on the same wavelength in that particular move, but you're right, it just hasn't worked yet for De Bruyne. But if you keep giving him that sort of space, then it won't take him long before he picks that pass or he produces that bit of magic.
Well, there's the half-time whistle. What a half it was. Talking points aplenty. Canada gifted the opportunity to score what would have been their first goal at a World Cup finals with only 10 minutes played after Yannick Carrasco was penalised for handball. Alphonso Davies, the poster boy for Canada, stepped up, saw his weak spot kick saved comfortably down to his right by Thibaut Courtois. They had numerous other opportunities as well they didn't take, and wouldn't you know it, a minute from the end of regulation time, after a route one ball down the middle of the Canadian backline, Michy Batshuayi took full advantage, I think with only their second shot on goal, rifled left-footed into the corner to give us a half-time scoreline in Group F. Belgium 1, Canada 0 on TalkSport. And it looks like some half-time replacements for Belgium. Yannick Carrasco and Yuri Tillemans both making way. Thomas Meunier and Amadou Onana, who's been in good form for Everton this season, coming on. Dean Ashton, what do you make of that double alteration?
Well, I mentioned it right at the end of the half that Carrasco had found it difficult on the left-hand side, and that Canada had been getting some joy down there by doubling up on him. So I could see that change with Castagna able just to go across to the other side. As for Tielemans, I wonder whether there's an injury, because I actually thought he was okay in that half, unless he feels, Roberto Martinez, that the fact that they've been under so much pressure, he needs a more defensive-minded player in there.
Well, it is Belgium who get us back underway here on TalkSport. They're wearing red shirts, black shorts and black socks. They are shooting from right to left in the second half. Canada all in white. And if Argentina and Germany have taught us anything in the embryonic stages of this World Cup 2022, is that a 1-0 lead, even against a minnow nation, is not a convincing one. Plenty of reason for those of you listening back home not to go to bed. There is every opportunity that Canada can still produce yet another upset. So no change for the Canadians in this second half. That double alteration for Belgium means that Thibaut Courtois is the goalkeeper. Alderweireld, Dendoncker, Vertonghen now the back three. Meunier the right wing back. Castagna has gone across the left with Witsel and Onana now the holding midfielders. De Bruyne and Hazard in behind the goalscorer Batshuayi up front for Canada. Bojan is the goalkeeper. Johnston, Vittoria, Miller and Larrea across the back four with Davies, the wing backs are Davis and Larrea the wing backs, Johnston, Vittoria, Miller in a back three, Hutchinson and Estequy in front of them, Buchanan, Hoylett up in support of Jonathan David up front. I wonder when we'll see Carl Larin added to the Canadian attack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I talked about the injury to Hutchinson. I wonder whether he'll be able to last the full 90 minutes. I wouldn't have thought so. Jonathan David, by the way, he likes to come short. I saw that quite a few times in that first half. He likes to come short and get involved in the play. But you just sort of think with some of the opportunities they created, you want it to fall to him, and it didn't, because he was involved in the build-up. A bit like sometimes we see with Harry Kane, likes to get involved but then can't quite get into the box to be the one to finish the chances.
And Canada have the ball over on the left-hand side. Thomas Meunier, by the way, is wearing a black face mask. The right wing back on at half-time. Carrasco was booked in the first half as well. I wonder if that came into Roberto Martinez's thinking up against a very lively Richie Larrea. Made 5 appearances for Nottingham Forest last season. Larrea now back at Toronto. Alphonso Davies feeling the force of a challenge from behind from the combative Onana early in this second half on TalkSport. And it remains Belgium leading by a goal to nil. Here comes Buchanan raiding down the right for Canada, looking resplendent in white with red numbers on the back of their jerseys. Estequy plays the ball through the legs of De Bruyne, crosses into the penalty area, looking for David, who tried to chest it towards goal, having worked out it was just too low for a header and just too high to maybe volley at goal. Was in the end he's just bundled it wide. Dean Asham, that's a good ball in.
Yeah, Estequy with a lovely little nutmeg on De Bruyne, and then just got his head up and played a nice ball in. It was more shoulder, I think, in the end from Jonathan David. Actually, it was good work from Alderweireld, who just put that bit of pressure just as he was about to make the attempt, and brushes his shoulder and wide. But again, just showing they're able to create, as Vertonghen's just gone down on his knee, holding his shoulder.
You can't really afford to lose him. Castagna with a throw down the left-hand side. Comfortable playing on either flank. Timothy Castagna of Leicester. Vertonghen back on his feet, volleys the ball forward from the throw, and here's Hazard looking to weave his magic into the centre circle. Plays it short in the end to Witsel. Castagna well forward down the left. Batshuayi, the goal scorer, has come out to this near side. He's trying to weave his way away from Alphonso Davies. In the end goes back into the Belgium half, and Alderweireld, I'd imagine that Roberto Martinez would just want his side to control the pace of the game a bit more in this second half.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're so used to seeing Belgium being able to do that and then open up the space, and for Hazard and for De Bruyne, by switching the play methodically.
We've played 3 minutes since the restart. Belgium lead by a goal to nil, but Canada streaming forward all in white again. Here is Estequy on the edge of the area, and lets fly right footed, but he drags it well wide. Hasn't been afraid to get a shot away, has he, from distance, Estequy, when he's had the opportunity. It was his driven effort that hit the hand of Carrasco, leading to that penalty saved. Alphonso Davies denied by Courtois in the early exchanges.
The only thing I'd say is if you can't beat him from 12 yards, you're going to do very, very well. It's going to have to be something outrageously special to beat him from 25 yards.
I'm sensing that Mr. Dean Ashton is a fully signed up member of the Thibaut Courtois fan club. You've got the badge and everything in your welcome pack.
Rightly so. I don't usually like goalkeepers, but he particularly is a very, very good one.
Here's Hoylett into the penalty area, trying to skip away from Dendoncker. 4 white shirts in the centre, but given away. Belgium can counter. Again, De Bruyne with a heavy pass. He was looking for Hazard, and it was overhit. 16 goal attempts for Canada so far. 4 for Belgium, only 2 on target. One of them a goal right at the end of the first half from Batshuayi. They don't deserve, on the balance of play, Canada to be behind.
They don't, but the crucial stats, I think, is that they've only had 2 on target for Canada. So clearly, yes, getting into good positions, getting the shots away, but wow, that tested Courtois.
Yeah, the ball was fired in at the feet of the Belgium goalkeeper. He did really well not to be caught in possession inside the 6-yard box.
Just gone up in my estimations again.
Here's Witsel. Again plays the ball back into the penalty area. Courtois this time with time to side foot the ball out to the left hand side. And Castagna, De Bruyne dropping deep and then playing it forward towards the centre circle, and Unana, he plays it out to the left, and here's De Bruyne again, number 7 on his jersey. Again, they're just trying to slow the game down, take the sting out the Canadian game plan, Belgium. They don't want a helter-skelter half like we saw in the first period here on TalkSport. 1-0, Belgium lead. Last of 4 commentaries today, 4 more coming your way tomorrow, including our first glimpse of Brazil. Always a special moment at any World Cup. They take on Serbia live on TalkSport, rounding off the day at 7 o'clock. Here is Eden Hazard wearing that bright blue captain's armband into De Bruyne. Onana with the opportunity to stretch his long raking legs, dinks the ball into the penalty area, and it's over the head of everybody in red and out for a goal kick.
That's just what he's lacking a little bit, Onana. He's got a wonderful eye for an interception with those long legs of his. He's an excellent tackler as well, but just when he gets on the ball, he really lacks that quality to pick a pass. I think really you should be keeping that nice and simple, get that into the feet of your 2 number 10s.
A reminder of the other games tomorrow. 10 o'clock, Switzerland against Cameroon. That's live on TalkSport 2. Uruguay against South Korea is a 1 o'clock kickoff UK time here on TalkSport. That's followed by Portugal against Ghana at 4. As I mentioned already, Brazil, Serbia is your 7 o'clock offering. Yellow card for Meunier, just leading with the elbow as he went up for an aerial challenge with Junior Hoylett, second Belgium booking of the evening.
Yeah, just what you want, isn't it? You take a player off who's on a yellow card to bring on one that gets one within a few minutes. Thanks.
Not only that, they have a free kick to defend here. Stephen Estequy is stood over the ball 15 yards or so from the edge of the centre circle. Referee just stopping a bit of pushing and shoving inside the penalty area. As Estequy prepares, I would imagine, to think this over the top of the Belgian defence to round about the 12-yard mark. There are a queue of 6 white shirts camped on the edge of the box. Oh, that's a poor ball over the head of everybody, much the frustration visibly of Stephen Vittoria. When you're 35 years of age, it takes a bit more exertion to get up from the back and then see the ball sail over your head and have to trudge all the way back into your centre-back berth.
I think it's really difficult when you're some way into your own half and you've got that central free kick. I think you've got to work some kind of clever free kick. I don't think you can just look to curl that in. It doesn't work. I'd be looking to play that into the edge of the box and try and feed something off it, as Junior Hoylett does really well down on the byline to win a corner for his side off Dendoncker.
Yeah, forcing the error. Hoylett, Canada with their 3rd corner of proceedings. And again, Vittoria has come forward. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the corner taker if this one doesn't lead to anything. Corner from the left-hand side. Davies over the ball. Again, Estequy is lurking on the edge of the box. They've gone short into Jonathan David. He's given it away tamely to De Bruyne. It's another waste of a good set-piece situation. De Bruyne's clearance is out of play for a throw right in front of the Canadian technical area. Suited and booted John Herdman in a hurry to get play restarted. The man who led the Canadian women's side to 2 Olympic bronze medals. He has taken the men's team from 70th in the world into the top 40. Hails from County Durham. So Gareth Southgate, by no means the only English coach of this 2022 World Cup. That's another poor ball in. Buchanan this time with a slice cross behind for a goal kick for Belgium. Onana has caught Estequy in the face, and if there's consistency here, that's going to be another yellow card. Onana not happy with the reaction of Kamel Miller, but he has got the booking. Don't know how much malice was intended. It was clumsy, Dean Ashton, more than anything else.
It was clumsy, but I actually think he's a little bit unlucky with this, because Onana is so much taller than Estequy. He naturally, as he goes to put his arm across, and there's not a lot there, you see with the monitor in front of us, there's hardly any contact. Estequy, he's done him, to be fair. He's made so much of it that the referee thinks there's a lot of contact, when actually, because of the height difference, he's put his arm across, it's touched his chin, and there's not a lot he can do about it. There's no... Meunier properly hit him in the challenge that he got a yellow card for.
It's only his third cap, Onana, signed from Lille for Everton at the start of the season, having rejected an earlier move to West Ham. As Belgium look to attack down the left-hand side. Castagna does well to find Hazard and keep the ball in play. Here's Witsel now, one of the survivors from that 2018 World Cup semi-final defeat against France by 1-0. Just a bit more needle in this second half. Witsel this time squaring up to Larrea as he was about to take a throw on the right. Where's that angst come from? Didn't really see it in the first half.
I'm not too sure. I mean, probably a bit of frustration from a Canadian point of view that they've not taken their chances. Quite early for the substitution, though.
Well, it was the change that we expected. Carl Larin on for Junior Hoylett. Larin, Canada's record goal scorer. 13 times he found the back of the net in qualifying. And it's part of a double change. The veteran captain, Atiba Hutchinson, is also being replaced by Ismail Kone, the 20-year-old Montreal midfielder. So fresh legs in midfield and a two-pronged attack, presumably. Dean Ashton up front now.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a big call to leave him out. I think Hutchinson as well, like I said, with that injury, it's no surprise whatsoever. Can he be the difference? Can he have the quality? Can he allow Jonathan David now to have a bit more freedom to be in the box?
I mentioned he's the record goal scorer. Jonathan David, before this game, was only 4 goals behind his teammates, so there's a bit of a personal battle going on for that place at the top of the Canadian scoring charts. He, like Buchanan, plies his club trade in Belgium, although isn't a regular starter these days for Club Bruges. Maybe that was a factor in John Herdman's decision not to start Larin from the off. Certainly it will be more for that Belgian backline to think about. Cross about to be played in from the left-hand side by Canada, smuggled away by the mask-wearing Meunier, and then cleared by Castagna. Certainly not very convincing Belgian performance, Dean.
No, it's not. They've struggled, haven't they? And their top players as well. Sort of Hazard has shown moments, and De Bruyne has been, really off for the standards he sets for himself. And I think if those two aren't absolutely at the top of their game, then who is it in the Belgium side that's going to be the one that creates it? That they haven't got anyone else.
Buchanan has been swept off his feet, so it's another Canadian free kick, this time 10 yards in from the left-hand byline. Stephen Estaquet stands over the ball. Can he find a decent delivery? The last 2 set pieces have been pretty wayward. Plenty of white shirts hoping that won't be the case here. 1-0 they trail, having missed a penalty early on. Alphonso Davies denied by Courtois. Michy Batshuayi with a goal right at the end of the first half that still separates the sides. We play 57 minutes. Estaquet with a deep delivery, but again, too deep. Couldn't find the head of Alistair Johnson, who come up from the back at the far post. It's behind for a goal kick, and we're about to see the entrance of Leandro Trossard, the Brighton midfielder, for Belgium.
Yeah, I think would probably be the right call. I think just mentioned the 2 players. I wonder who it will be. I'd expect it to be Hazard.
They're going to have to play a whole lot better, Belgium, if they are to live up to Dean Ashton's pre-match prediction of going a long way in this tournament. I don't know if this is the type of World Cup, given that the group games are so close together, given the lack of practice matches, where a team can really grow into the tournament. That's what made England's 6-2 victory against Iran live on TalkSport all the more impressive. England back in action on Friday, and they take on the USA, 7 o'clock UK time. DeMarcus Beasley, former USA international, will be alongside Jim White and Simon Jordan live in Doha tomorrow from 10 o'clock. So Trossard ready for action. It will be a 3rd Belgium change, and it is the captain, Eden Hazard, who is just removing the armband, having got through more than an hour. Passes it on to Jan Vertonghen. Will he be reasonably satisfied with his performance?
Eden Hazard, reasonably, yeah. Again, it shows moments of real class. Like, that touch was just fantastic that he took out of the sky, and then the body shimmies. He's so hard to dispossess him. It's minutes for him at the moment, and if they do go a bit deeper in this competition, him playing, he'll only get better. But Trossard, you're right, he's in such good form. You'd expect him to have an impact, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's a big concern at the moment that he may be prized away from Brighton by those on the south coast, as Buchanan, from just inside the D on the edge of the Belgian penalty area, balloons his shot high over the crossbar. That has to go down as another half chance. They have been wasteful, Canada, with the opportunities that have come their way. We must be nearing 20 shots now. Not too many of them, as you've already mentioned, have really worked the goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois.
But we all want to score in a World Cup, of course we do. But you've got to work harder to create the better chances, the chances that you're more likely to score from, the chances that you're more likely to beat Thibaut Courtois from.
I'm just glad we've got our first goal of this World Cup, having called the 0-0 between Tunisia and Denmark. If we had another stalemate, we might have been branded a jinx. This has been a much better game. Canada have more than played their part in that, but still we wait the big moment. The team who lost all 3 group games back in '86 without scoring a single goal. History is there to be made. Which of these Canadian players can grasp that opportunity? We play 63 minutes on TalkSport. Belgium 1, Canada 0 is the score. Belgium maintaining their record of having only failed to hit the target in 1 now of their last 52 internationals, so it was never really going to end 0-0. Here's Meunier on the right hand side, crossing into the area, blocked behind by Vitoria, and Belgium have a corner. I do think they've had more of a semblance of control in this second half. They've managed the game better, Belgium.
Yeah, they've slowed it right down, haven't they? Which is what we're used to seeing from them. As Trossard with a lovely little back heel into Meunier for that cross that then got blocked. A good introduction from the Brighton forward.
Well, they have good height now with the addition of Onana. It will be a corner to be played in by De Bruyne from the right hand side, aimed in at Onana, over his head. Then there's a bit of pulling going on. Dendoncker holding Buchanan, so it's a free kick for Canada, who still trail by a goal to 0 against a Belgium side who crashed out to Italy in the quarter-finals of the European Championships. And when they were beaten 4-1 by Holland in a disappointing Nations League campaign in June, even Roberto Martinez admitted that maybe the team was past its sell-by date. Dean Ashton doesn't necessarily transcribe to that opinion. It's been said around the TalkSport Hotel that as many as 8 teams could win this competition. Here's Onana, powerful burst into the area. He goes down. I don't think he was fouled, but it was a worrying moment for the Canadian backline at first, the sight of the tall figure of Onana bounding into their penalty area.
Yeah, the first bit was brilliant, actually. Just driving through the Canadian defence and getting into a good position, and then the challenge originally, surely that's a foul?
Larin, at the moment players continue, look to have bundled over Castagna. No free kick, and here's Estequie on the edge of the area. We know he doesn't mind a shot from long range. This time he tries to pass it to Davies. The move breaks down and De Bruyne leads the counter. Looking for Batshuayi, brilliant challenge. Sliding in again is Miller. Again he gets up and celebrates as if he just scored the winner.
Poor pass again though from De Bruyne. We just needed more on it to get to Batshuayi.
It's not been his night, not so far anyway. Davies out to the left hand side. Buchanan 6 yards outside the Belgian penalty area. You're listening to Belgium 1, Canada 0 on TalkSport. Shot from the edge of the box, well wide. Disappointing effort by Richie Laryea. There may be a reason why he's only scored 1 goal for his country. He's had a couple of efforts that have gone well off target.
Well, exactly. Well put. He's had 1 goal, so why would he be taking a strike from outside the area? That's because it's a World Cup and you want to score. No, look for your forward players. Was there a bit of better movement there that he could have looked at? Instead, that's just a lazy attempt and a real waste when you're trying to get back into the game.
Here's De Bruyne trying to attack down the right hand side. He's taken 2 Canadian players out of the game. He's picked out Batshuayi on the edge of the area, and once again it's a terrific block in there. I think it was Laryea denying Batshuayi a clean strike at goal after De Bruyne had made hay down the right hand side. And it looked, Dean Ashton, as if Batshuayi would have a simple task. That is a terrific recovery challenge from Laryea.
Shouldn't have been allowed to, though. Batshuayi took so long. That ball across from De Bruyne was brilliant. Cut back to him, just run onto it. Instead, he waited for the ball to get to him and was challenged.
De Bruyne with a corner, hanging in the air, in towards Onana and the captain Vertonghen. But Canada defend it well enough, but an unfortunate slip on the edge of the area by Jonathan David gives possession back to Belgium. Witsel down by the left corner flag. A second goal, and you feel it will be game over as far as Canada are concerned. De Bruyne has the ball at his feet, 15 yards outside the penalty area. Looking for a little shift of play out to the left. Castagna with the opportunity to cross. Instead he plays it low to Batshuayi. Batshuayi trying to work his way into a shooting position. Just ran into a wall of white shirts, and Canada hacked the ball clear. Maybe should have looked for a teammate there, Batshuayi.
Well, I thought it did open up slightly for him just to drive into. He just didn't sort his feet out quick enough. And in the end, if he was going to get through, it was just purely because he was trying to bundle his way through instead of maybe looking for a teammate. But I'd have done the same in that moment. It just opened up. I'd have tried to drive through and take a strike.
23 minutes remaining. Belgium 1, Canada 0 here on TalkSport. Axel Witsel brings it down neatly on the halfway line for Roberto Martinez's side. Martinez, only the 3rd Belgian manager to lead the country at 2 World Cup finals. He's already racked up more wins than any other manager in their history, and he's managed to get himself the title of technical director as well, so I think his job is reasonably assured. De Bruyne trying to spot the run of Batshuayi on the edge of the area, too heavy with a pass.
Just needs to reset the radar, doesn't he, De Bruyne? It's not been on at all.
Does he look a bit fatigued?
I wouldn't say fatigued. I think that would just be an excuse. I think he's looked great for Manchester City, and it's not exactly. He's had a rest, hasn't he?
He won't get too much rest at this World Cup. 3 games in 8 days in the group stage for the competing nations. England back in action on Friday night, live on TalkSport against the USA, giving themselves a great platform to go deep into the draw with that thrilling 6-2 victory against Iran on the 2nd day of the tournament. Here's Thibaut Courtois, yellow shirted Belgium goalkeeper. Long ball forward, picked up by Castagna. Couldn't find De Bruyne, and Canada with a chance to counter. Their fans still offering plenty of encouragement inside the stadium in Al Rayyan, which isn't anywhere near full. Disappointing to see. Larin, as he looked to make progress down the left-hand side, was challenged by Mounier, and the ball is out for Canadian throw.
Where's that energy gone? You know, for Canada were brilliant in that first half. Their energy was fantastic, and Belgium couldn't cut. They've lost a bit of that. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it was that goal at the end of the first half. Has that knocked them a bit? I'm not too sure. They're just...
No, certainly not the same vigour about their play. Not the same crispness in their passing either. But here is Estaquis looking to play it forward towards the penalty area. Jonathan David was the target. Across comes Alderweireld. It was his long ball upfield that provided the chance for Batshuayi to open the scoring at the end of the first half. And again, Canada have given it away cheaply. Here's De Bruyne, skips away from a slide tackle on the left-hand side. Batshuayi is already off on his travels. De Bruyne looking to pick out Batshuayi in the area. Was the pass too heavy, or was that a poor touch from Batshuayi? It's out for a throw.
A bit of both. It was overhit from De Bruyne, that's for sure, but then came off his shin, Batshuayi, rather than his foot. But can't say De Bruyne's tired when he just did that down on this near touchline where he just skipped away from the Canadian defender.
It's riled you a bit, isn't it, the suggestion that the great Kevin De Bruyne might be feeling a bit undercooked at the start of this tournament. Here's Buchanan. Canada certainly went undercooked in the first half, but the second half has been a different story.
Been trying to get me to bite all evening, Crookie.
All of the spirit of the World Cup. Throw in for Canada, taken quickly by Miller. They will still believe against this Belgian back line that they can create opportunities to get themselves back on level terms. A point, a goal would still be a historic occasion. They had that huge opportunity to get it, didn't they? And the penalty with just 10 minutes on the clock. Alphonso Davies denied by Courtois. Long punt forward into the Belgian penalty area, headed away by Dendoncker. But they're sitting very deep here, Belgium, and inviting pressure. Canada have it again down the right. Well won back by Castagna. I think he's been one of the better players in red.
Yeah, he has. He's been very good, either side.
De Bruyne into the feet of Batshuayi, 6 yards outside the penalty area. Trossard now trying to get the ball out from under his studs and get a shot away, but again well defended by Canada, and they play it forward to David. Haven't really seen too much of Larin so far. Larin now playing in the more central position. Jonathan David out wide on the left. As the ball is
I've noticed though
launched forward, looking for Larrea over here.
I have noticed that Alphonso Davies has come over to the right. I think he's switched with Larrea, and also he just made a run then. He was a lot further forwards, and you sort of think when you got a player with such pace and such quality, you want him higher up, don't you?
Canada have just snuck on another sub while we were debating that. Richie Larrea. Here's the player making way, and coming on is a Londoner, Sam Adekobi, a rampaging left back. Famously jumped in the snow during a qualifying game in Mexico, scored a famous goal against the USA as well. Has that changed just to provide a bit more energy?
I think so, and also with I just wonder whether they'll change the shape, which it does look like they may well have done, and put Johnston as the right back, put the sub on at left back, and trying to get Alphonso Davies higher up the pitch on that, possibly on that left hand side. Yeah, they have changed more to a 4 by the looks of things.
So John Herdman shuffling his pack as we move into the last 17 minutes of the 90. There's more activity on the Belgian bench as well. Roberto Martinez responding to that change. Lois Openda, forward from Lens in France, is being readied. Not quite the same intensity from the Canadian fans inside the stadium in the second half either. You sense that they are waiting for the team to give them reason to crank up the volume levels again.
Yeah, I just think this whole half has been flat from them.
Here's Johnston though, switching the ball out to the left-hand side. Mounier does well, stops it reaching its intended target. Adekobi, and then Belgium play it back towards their own 18-yard box. They lead 1-0. Michy Batshuayi with a goal a minute before half-time. You listen to TalkSport, our wall-to-wall coverage from Qatar. 4 more games tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock over on TalkSport 2. And finished in the evening, Brazil against Serbia. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff UK time. Neymar looking to make his mark on proceedings. Here's Buchanan down the right-hand side. Good ball into the area, looking for Larin. Shooting opportunity was there. It was a poor first touch, and that allowed Belgium to get the ball clear, only momentarily maybe. Estequie midway inside the Belgium half, away to our right. Plays the ball out to the left-hand side, and the substitute Adekobi. Good spell this from Canada, moving the ball around neatly, dictating possession. Kone back to the halfway line he goes, and everybody in red, Dean Ashton, is back inside their own half. A little slip there though from Kone, almost allowing Belgium to counter.
Well, they're in a good position, Belgium, because they're one ahead, and they don't want to leave that space behind for the Canadians and the pace that they've got. They can just sit a bit deeper, frustrate, and just try and let the clock go down and hope that Canada lose the will in this game, which they have a bit in this second half.
Canadian fans responding though to this improvement in the last few minutes, trying to whip up more of an atmosphere, give their team something to feed off. Cross towards Larin, neat first touch into Jonathan David, gets a shot around the turn, blocked, and the ball now has come out to the right hand side, and Buchanan. Belgium on the back foot at the moment. Cross from Buchanan, steered clear by Alderweireld, and brought down neatly on the chest on the halfway line by Kamal Miller. I just sense they're building up a head of steam again, Canada.
I think they're trying to, but they're being allowed to keep possession, and just this whole game has been the lack of the clear-cut chances, the lack of testing Courtois in the game, considering how many shots they have had on goal, Canada. At this level, if you cannot put yourselves ahead or get the goals, you'll find it very difficult.
Well, the goal scorer, Michy Batshuayi, is being taken off by Roberto Martinez. Fresh legs up front, Lois Openda. Here's the player coming on. Batshuayi being urged by the referee to take the quickest exit off the field, and will walk all the way around the perimeter and back to the dugouts. It's Canada in possession with less than 16 minutes to play. They trail by a goal to nil. They've run the ball out for a Belgian throw over on that right hand side. Canada, who of course will be co-hosts in 2026 when the next World Cup comes around. Certainly, Dean Ashton, they've not disgraced themselves tonight.
No, and I think they excited in the first half. Maybe a bit of a lesson, certainly in this first game. I don't think either they would have expected a result against Belgium. If you were being honest, you would think that you would lose this game against Belgium. If you got anything, it would be a bonus. I think it's the other two teams in this group, Morocco and Croatia, where they would hope to get something.
Have you seen enough to suggest they can in one of those two games? I'll answer that in a moment, because they're coming forward here. Again, well defended by Belgium. We've looked much more solid in this second half. But Tongan clearing the ball away left-footed. Openda can't make it stick. And Canada will come forward over the halfway line again. It's played out to the left-hand side. And Adekobi, very athletic left full-back. They've switched it to this near side now, and Johnston with a cross into the area, and that was a really good ball in. Perfect delivery, and another Massive opportunity for Canada, and for Cole Larin, just couldn't generate the power on the header, and in the end nods it tamely into the arms of the diving Courtois.
Well, he really wrapped his foot around it, Johnston, with the cross. It was a great delivery. Larin just got himself in between Vertonghen and Alderweireld. But, as I keep saying, Courtois, he makes, difficult saves look like just totally routine.
2 more changes about to be made by Canada. Liam Miller, former academy player at Liverpool, ex-Charlton Athletic, is coming on, and so too is Jonathan Osorio, scored famously in qualifying against Mexico at the Azteca. Estequy and Buchanan are those who are going off. Here's Larin down the right-hand side. Alphonso Davies with a chance to cross left-footed, guided away by the captain for Belgium, Vertonghen, and then a late challenge by Davies on Trossard, and it's a yellow card.
Yeah, it was poor from Davies. Again, he's not really got himself into the game. You wonder whether that penalty miss has affected him. He is still a young player, despite playing for one of the world's best teams. Can't help but think it's affected him, and he's not asserted himself on the game the way I thought he would do. It was actually Castagna in the first half I thought got the better of him, and he's been quite anonymous in this second half.
Canada have now made all 5 of their allowed alterations, so John Herban, the coach, has played all his cards. Still 10 minutes plus added time to get back on level terms. Belgium leading by a goal to nil, expertly slotted away by Michy Batshuayi at the end of the first half. That after Davies, as Dean was alluding to, had seen his penalty saved by Courtois, just 10 minutes on the clock at that stage. An opportunity to make Canadian history, not taken by their star man. Here is Larin wearing the bright yellow boots, out to the right hand side, and he finds Davies. Davies coming in on his left foot, running at Witsel, getting away from the Belgian midfielder, not held up by Jonathan David, but they still haven't got it away yet. They will do now. Leander Dendoncker with a side-footed clearance finds De Bruyne. De Bruyne with Kone for company, runs into trouble. He's just outnumbered there by the white shirts of Canada. Ball in towards David, might come for Larin, hooked clear by Dendoncker. And now Belgium with a chance to counter. Openda with a fresh legs, running down the left hand side, and he's been brought down by Johnston. That will be an obvious yellow card. Cynical challenge from Alistair Johnston, player who played more matches in qualifying than anybody else in this Canada team. He knew exactly what he was doing there, Dean Ashton.
He just didn't have a chance, did he? Openda was too quick for him. He was grabbing hold of him, trying to stop him, and he just jinked away from him, and he just scissored the back of his legs. And rightly so, gets a yellow card.
And Openda is down receiving treatment. I wonder how much of this is because he is genuinely hurt and how much is just to eke away a few more minutes. Belgium have won their last 7 World Cup group games. 6 minutes plus stoppage time away from making that 8 in a row. They've only lost 1 of their last 10 opening matches of the tournament. That record was under threat in the first half. It's been a more composed performance from the Red Devils in the second as De Bruyne prepares to take the free kick. I don't think they'll overcommit bodies forward into the penalty area. Not desperate Belgium for a second goal at this stage.
How well have they managed the second half? They've managed the second half like the experienced players that they are. And whatever was said at half-time by Roberto Martinez has worked. I'm sure he said, this needs to slow down. This can't be the circus of a first half that it was. And they've kind of just really ruined the second half, Belgium, and that's exactly what they would have wanted.
It's not always the facet you'd associate with them. De Bruyne with the ball into the area, headed over the bar by Dendoncker. Had a free run at that. Just couldn't keep the header down, the Aston Villa man.
No, he got up there though, didn't he, in between Vittoria and Miller. Just couldn't guide that header on target. Instead, just bounced off more of the top of his head rather than his forehead, and it was up and away.
Adekobi trying to play the ball down the left-hand side, intercepted by Alderweireld. Here is De Bruyne, with room to run into on the edge of the area. He might get a shot away here, De Bruyne, and that sums up his night. Right-footed, hammered over the crossbar.
Oh, it's a brilliant run though from Openda. He just takes away two centre-backs, allows De Bruyne then to cut in onto his right foot. You think, here we go, just waiting for that top corner of the net to bulge, and it was so high and wide, it's just so unlike him.
Time just approaching midnight here, local time, 5 minutes plus injury time to play. Good ball into the area again from Canada. Larin almost jumped too early and can only head high over the crossbar. That was another teasing delivery, this time for the left-hand side, and Adekobi. Larin will be disappointed that he didn't time his jump better.
Didn't catch the flight of the ball, and you're absolutely right. Because of that, he got ahead of it and was in there too early. So then when it's behind you, so difficult to then manoeuvre yourself to get the ball and head it down, and had no chance in the end.
Canada lost the only previous meeting between these two by 2-0. That was a friendly in Ottawa back in 1989. Looks like another defeat without scoring. Roberto Martinez not feeling entirely comfortable yet, though. I think there will be quite a few added minutes at the end of the 90. As De Bruyne comes forward, gaps beginning to appear in the Canadian back line. Here's Trossard into the penalty area. He's forced wide, and he's forced to run the ball out of play. That was excellent positional play by Kamal Miller.
Yeah, he didn't commit himself, did he? He just waited and trusted his pace and ability to read Trossard's movement, who tried the step over and go, and once he forced him wide, he then couldn't keep it into play. Trossard.
21 shots to Belgium's 7 for Canada, only 3 on target. That will be a source of frustration when they go through the debrief in the morning, get ready for their next encounter in Group F up against Croatia. Here's Miller with the blonde hair, the former Liverpool and Charlton man, down the left-hand side. Little step over. Oh, it might come for Larin inside the penalty area. Couldn't bring it under control. And Vertonghen sweeps the ball clear right-footed. That final piece of play inside the 18-yard box once again lacking.
Yeah, but they've really narrowed off the back three of Dendoncker, Alderweireld and Vertonghen. There isn't the gaps anymore between them. They've really narrowed in so that there just isn't that space, and your touch has to be perfect if you're going to receive that in the box and turn and shoot, and the touch hasn't quite been there.
Penrose on the right-hand side chips the ball into the centre of the Canadian half, in towards Leandro Trossard and Kevin De Bruyne, but one back by Davies. Davies stretches out and makes his way towards the penalty area, taking on Witsel, trying to get the ball on his left foot, slides it out to that far side, and a cross in from Miller, headed away by Alderweireld. Now Kamal Miller on the halfway line with White strapping on his left arm. Time running out for Canada to claim their first ever World Cup point. They trail by a goal to nil. Liam Miller plays it down the left-hand side. Cross played in by Adekobi, blocked behind by Dendoncker. It will be a corner in the 89th minute.
You do feel, though, that aerially Belgium have been able to cope. Whether it's the crosses, whether it's set plays, they've been quite dominant so far.
Just takes one good delivery, though, doesn't it? One well-timed leap. Is this the moment a nation has waited for? No, it isn't, because it's a woeful corner behind for a goal kick on the opposite side of the ground.
Yeah, there's been too many of those. There's been too many of those from a Canadian point of view. And if you don't get that part right, of course you'll never allow your teammates to go and attack it.
Belgian fans edging towards celebrating a win. Romelu Lukaku still moving nervously in the stands. Will he be fit for their second group game against Morocco? His replacement, Michy Batshuayi, at the moment is the man whose goal has won it. And here's Mounier, shoots for the outside of the foot, blocked by Vitoria, behind for a corner, and Belgium will take as long as they can over this.
Yeah, it's a great touch from Mounier. Just plucked it out of the sky and then looked to take the shot on, a la Quaresma, with the outside of his foot. Good block by the defender, but they'll just be wasting added time now as much as possible.
Yeah, we're into 5 added minutes as we had at the end of the first half. We've played 30 seconds of those already. Belgium leading Canada by a goal to nil. De Bruyne stands over the corner. I think it's going to be a short one towards Trossard maybe. Liam Miller has gone across to make that difficult, but they do play it short. It wasn't that difficult, because here's De Bruyne inside the penalty area and he crosses low straight into the arms of Boyan. So still time for Canada. Their fans will still believe. John Herdman on the edge of the technical area will believe as well. Johnston inside the centre circle for the Canadians. Plenty of white shirts inside the Belgium half. Here is Johnston, right corner of the penalty area. He's got 3 to aim at in the centre. Deep one towards Larin. This time beaten in the air by Dendoncker. His header back towards his own goal is taken cleanly by Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah, they've just gone about it the wrong way, Canada. They felt getting it wide and getting crosses in is going to be an effective way to score against Belgium, and I just don't see it. Not with Dendoncker, Alderweireld and Vertonghen all over 6 foot and good in the air. I think you've got to find a different way. You've got to try and find a pass slid down the side of those players for Jonathan David or Larin.
2 of the 5 added minutes are up. Belgium 1, Canada 0 here on TalkSport. The end of another very busy day of wall-to-wall World Cup coverage. Started with a breakfast show live from Doha and finishing late into the night here. It's going to be a very late goal for Canada if they can get back on level terms, but Belgium have the ball. Leandro Trossard still full of running, having only recently entered the fray off the bench. Takes it towards the left corner flag, then comes infield for De Bruyne. Witsel to Onana. It's brought composure, Onana, to the Belgian midfield since his half-time introduction. Have to say those subs have worked out well for Roberto Martinez. Both Mounier and Onana have done solid jobs.
Yeah, they have. And Onana especially in midfield. Tielemans I wouldn't associate with that, that defensive mindset Onana has. He's looking to intercept, he's looking to disrupt in the middle of the park, and that has worked.
That's Dean Ashton, former England striker, part of our team over here in Qatar. Openda looks like he might fancy a shot here from the edge of the penalty area, just delayed and plays it back into midfield. Onana, Witsel out to the left and De Bruyne finds Castagna. Belgium running down the clock here. De Bruyne on the edge of the box into Openda, dispossessed just on the edge of the 18-yard line by Osorio, and then it's launched long upfield by the goalkeeper Boyan, but can only pick out his opposite number Courtois, and we've got only around about 80 seconds of the 5 added minutes to play.
In this second half, Canada have played like a team that have not played in a major tournament such as this before, and just that naivety, maybe young, inexperienced, some of the players, and Belgium have just disrupted this second half completely and controlled it.
Well, we felt at the time, I think, that the penalty saved by Courtois, denying Alphonso Davies what would have been a history-making goal, would be decisive. Took until the final few seconds of regulation time at the end of the opening 45 for Michy Batshuayi to make Davies and Canada pay for that miss. Excellent finish, left-footed into the corner. And it's been a much more balanced approach from Belgium since half-time. And they are seconds away now from opening their 2022 World Cup campaign with victory. Maybe one last chance for Canada to get the ball forward. It's at the feet of Adekobi down the left-hand side. Now Osorio into the centre circle he comes. 6 white shirts in front of him, but plenty of red ones too. As the full-time whistle blows, Canada's wait for their first goal and their first point as a World Cup nation continues. Michy Batshuayi with what proved to be the winner a minute before half-time. A well-taken left-footed half volley after a route one pass out from the back by Alderweireld had split the Canadian defence. But the big moment really came as early as the 10th minute. Carrasco penalised for handball, penalty for Canada, meekly taken, easily saved. Davis the taker, Courtois the goalkeeper to Belgium's rescue. It wasn't a performance from Roberto Martinez's side that will strike fear into many of the top nations, but it's a win nonetheless to kick off Group F and go straight to the top of the group. It finishes in Al Rayyan. Belgium 1, Canada